I went from a size 14 to a size 6 in 30 days. I no longer suffer from fibromyalgia, and I no longer suffer from depression.
Well, for so many, losing weight can be a frustrating and exhausting experience, especially when weeks or even months at the gym yield minimum results. Well, there is a solution. Dr. Kathleen Nash of Total Transformation joins us to talk about how she shed 80 pounds and how she's helping others to lose weight. And sometimes it really is something, medically speaking, that's keeping people from losing that weight.
Absolutely. We used to really believe, and we still do, it still perpetuates in our dogma that it's calories, it's activity and calories that drives the weight gain. But actually what we're finding these days is that's only about 30% of a fat accumulation problem. 60% is coming from changes that have occurred inside the physiology. So these changes will stop your body's ability to lose weight, even if you're dieting and exercise, and if you don't know it, it's just an incredibly frustrating experience.
And your whole approach is to help people lose weight. Obviously, it's always good to exercise, but this is something they can do with little or no exercise that will actually help them lose a significant amount of weight.
Correct. Maybe 20% of my clientele do any kind of regular activity. Most of them don't, because one of the things we want to try to show them is that it's not really a calorie-driven process. It's more a physiology problem that's going on that's driving the weight problem.
Well, and you know all about this. You yourself lost, as I mentioned, 80 pounds.
Yeah.
How did that work for you? This has been some 9 years ago.
Yeah, it was 9 years ago that I lost the 80 pounds. I started getting heavy when I was 8 years old, and I was getting heavy at a time when people really weren't, or children really weren't. Now it's commonplace. And every time I would go on a weight loss program, for the time that I was diligently doing it, my body would lose, but it wouldn't hold.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going back to any kind of really crazy behavior. Once I found the underlying issues that was driving the weight gain, not only did I lose weight like I did on previous times, but then I was able to keep it off, and I was eating between 2,000 and 3,000 calories a day, and my exercise was cut down to half. And this is now what we reproduce for our clients, including Catherine, who we saw at the beginning of the segment.
Now, did you experience this candida? Tell us about that, because that's a condition that people have. They don't know about it often, and that may be a big part of why it's difficult for them to lose weight.
Absolutely. So one of the metabolic factors that I work with is toxicity. Candida albicans is a toxin. It's a yeast or a fungus. There's usually a normal amount present in our gut bacteria, but when it turns into an overgrowth, it can cause serious weight gain. Clinical studies have shown it can cause upwards of 30 pounds of fat accumulation in just 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, and the problem is the symptoms for a candida overgrowth are similar to symptoms we have all the time. Excessive hunger, I want to eat carbohydrates, I have cravings, I feel tired. These are hard to figure out. Is it candida or isn't it?
But there is a way to find out pretty easily, too, right?
Yeah, pretty easy way for you to find out at home. You don't have to go to a doctor to figure it out. First thing in the morning, you take a clear glass of water and you're going to deposit saliva into that water. You just want to make sure that you don't eat or drink anything, don't brush your teeth. It has to be the first morning saliva. Wait about 30 to 60 seconds, and if you see that white film that you're seeing on the screen right now, that's the actual yeast coming out of your saliva and going into the water. It means you have an overgrowth, and there's a high likelihood that toxicity is one of the reasons you can't get the weight off.
All right, so you find out you have it, then what?
So the good news is we have candida protocols in my office. We have protocols specific to the candida toxin, or they can be wrapped into a weight loss protocol that we do to help you reach your goal weight. So what we would want you to do is call my office for an evaluation to determine if you have not only that problem, but other metabolic factors as well.
All right, speaking of calling your office, you have a special offer for people watching today?
Yes, so normally my evaluations to talk to me are $97. However, if they mention that they saw me on Las Vegas Now with Kendall, I'm going to be able to reduce that fee down to $997. But here's the thing, I actually only have a few spots of that left. Like, we've really been crazy after the Labor Day weekend. So ideally, we'd want you to call in as soon as possible. But we're going to give you 2 webinars that explain my program, the free audio and the free book, plus the evaluation with me. And it's less than $10 to see if I can help you.
And there was the information on your screen, and we have that on our site as well. Dr. Kathleen Nash, always good to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kendall. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Appreciate it.